Superman has found himself in a bit of a bind. As a part of the Dawn of DC line-wide kind of reboot that's going across all of the books, Superman also got a soft reboot. Now Superman is working with Lex Luthor. You see, Lex Luthor was placed into prison, and in order to, work better with Superman and be a hero, he decided to give LexCorp to Superman as Supercorp. But Superman wants nothing to do with that. That is until Parasite, one of his old villains, came back. Parasite has the ability to suck the energy out of anyone and finds Superman to be a giant battery. Well, due to a new type of radiation, Parasite splintered off into multiple little parasites and then began to infect people, turning them into parasites. Superman began to lose Metropolis, with even Lois Lane becoming a parasite who's attempting to suck the life out of him. Eventually, he also turned into a parasite, and well, that's where we are with the storyline right now, Lex insisting that he can help. This is Comicstorian. I make audio dramas of your favorite comic books. We have 2 series. Complete stories are 1 to 3 issues, and full stories are the entire run of comic books. Today we're going to be bringing you Superman issue number 3. Let's get into it. Within his cell, Lex is still talking to Superman, though the Man of Steel still hasn't responded to Lex's assurances that if they don't work together, Metropolis will be lost and become the lost city of parasites. The wall suddenly explodes inward to reveal a parasite-corrupted Superman. "Doomsday!" Superman growls, and Lex scrambles back as Superman is approaching. "Well, this is an unfortunate turn of events," Lex whispers, but Superman picks him up, leading him out of the cell. In his broken speech, Superman explains what happened to the city, and he leads Lex to another cell, ripping open the door to reveal Livewire. "Why are the parasites dressed as Superman?" she questions as Superman reaches out for her as she begins to scream, "Don't eat me!" But later, at the top of the Supercorp building, Lex finishes hooking Livewire up to a massive battery, explaining to her that they plan on using her as bait to lead the real parasite to them. "This won't hurt, I promise," he tells her before throwing the switch. The tower lights up and the city is bathed in brilliant light, as the parasites in the city see the massive source of energy. They then begin to turn towards it and race in that direction, looking for a nice meal for the evening. Lex is fascinated to see even the microscopic parasites that infected everyone's bodies beginning to spring free and rush to the light. He then turns to Superman, coughing up the last of his parasites, returning to his normal state, and he pulls on a containment suit created by the Supercorp. "Luthor, I brought you to Supercorp to keep the parasites here with Livewire, without hurting her. Understand? The suit will disguise me from the clones, but I need to find Rudy, the real Rudy, before they become too much for the building to handle," Superman explains. They look down to see Rudy pulling himself out of the crowd. Rudy reaches out a hand. "I'm so hungry. All these damned mouths to feed are eating me out of house and home," Rudy growls. And Superman flies down to the parasite, trying to explain that if Rudy doesn't reabsorb the pieces of himself, he might die. "We can talk this through. We can help each other," Superman says as he reaches out, but Parasite leaps at him, grabbing a hold of him and beginning to absorb his energy. Superman knocks him away. The other smaller parasites try to latch onto the Man of Steel, but Rudy pushes them away as well. Superman then tells Rudy that he knows where he can find lots of energy, and he motions to all of the smaller parasites that are absorbing the energy off of the building. "You're bite-sized U's," Superman tells him. On the roof, both Mercy and Luthor are trying to keep the tiny monsters at bay, and Rudy smiles. "Why didn't I think of that? Thanks, Soups," he shouts as he leaps up into the tiny parasites, beginning to absorb them all. The others watch as Rudy is eating and absorbing the smaller parasites. "Those really are all just pieces of him, right? He isn't," Mercy asks as she begins to grimace, and Luthor shakes his head. "Don't overthink it." With his meal finished, Rudy is finally full. His body is a mass of tangled limbs and half-eaten parasites, but Lex walks over, pushing a device into him. "This neutralizer will remove the radiation poisoning that caused your powers to change. Our dear friend will be just fine, thanks to Supercorp," Lex says with a triumphant tone in his voice as Rudy falls to the floor, passing out. So later, Metropolis gets back to normal, with Clark Kent returning to his home, where he finds his family. And after a brief conversation with Lois, he decides that he must play Luthor's game for now to see what he is really after. So Superman returns to the prison, where Luthor has been moved into a new cell. "Come to gloat," Luthor asks, not bothering to look up from his book. Superman shakes his head. Not my style. He then looks at his greatest enemy, pointing out that Luthor helped save the city, that he didn't even try to escape. Luthor nods and stands. I believe that we can save Metropolis, save the world, together. Superman holds out a box. I've decided to not give up on you, Luthor. Luthor smiles as he opens the box, revealing one of Superman's signal watches. He then returns to Supercorp, where he stands before Mercy and the other workers. Let's get to work, he tells them all, but unknown to any of them, the doctors behind the evil that plagued Metropolis have begun their search for their next test subject. I hope you guys enjoyed this issue. I didn't mean for us to do a single issue. I actually thought it was going to have 4 to 6 issues for this story. So the original video had 1 and 2, and I thought we'd at least get 2 more issues for this video. But as you can tell, the arc ended, and therefore, we don't have anything else to add to it. If you want to see what happens next right here at the Superman comics, then make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and join us over here at the Comicstorian channel. And on that note, I'll see you guys later.